From our studios around the world, this is the Taste of Place podcast. Each month, we share stories from the keepers of culinary culture and heritage to spark ideas for your professional path or your next travel adventure. I'm your host, Eric Wolf. Thanks for listening. Welcome to episode 76 of the Taste of Place podcast. Today, we will be speaking with Siham Lahmine. Siham is the founder of Morocco Travel Organizer, a boutique travel company known for its immersive and luxury experiences across Morocco. With over a decade of expertise in culinary tourism and cultural heritage, she designs custom itineraries that highlight Morocco's rich traditions, from farm-to-table cooking to tea ceremonies and mountain caves. Siham is also committed to social impact, volunteering in education and supporting women's empowerment initiatives. Her approach to travel goes beyond sightseeing, fostering authentic cultural exchanges that leave a lasting impression. Welcome to the show today.
Thank you so much, Eric. Glad to be here.
It is so nice to meet you, and you have put together a really impressive offering for visitors coming to Morocco. Tell us about it.
Oh, thank you so much. Yes, I actually first of all, I live in Morocco and I am a Moroccan and I love Morocco as a country and as a destination. There are so many things that people can do here and enjoy and also experience in this sense at the same time. So the main goal of the company is to really let the traveler come here and connect with the locals and also travel from the food concept, which is what I'm passionate about. And when I'm talking about the food concept, I'm talking about different kind of activities and different new offers that are coming on the way at the same time. So I've been a fast food tour for 11 years now in the tourism industry, and I lead beautiful food tours with wonderful storytelling in the Medina. So it's in the markets, in the souk, and I deal only with specific small food vendors. It's not about fancy restaurants, it's not about chefs, but it's more about local chefs who are proud about what they are presenting to the locals themselves. And it's a variety of different things. Also, travelers have the option to either try something or not, so there is no pressure. But the main point is seeing the Medina of Morocco from a different point of view. Because once people come here, they just see historical sites, which is also beautiful. We have 1,200 years old history. But I mean, once you're walking and seeing the Medina from the eyes of food and from the stories of food, that's something that it's way too different, and it lets you connect more in depth with the culture and the place. I also host farm to table experiences, and I'm looking actively in the regions and in the countryside. And the idea is to really go and support people who has nothing to do with tourism. This is the main point, and suggest for them this is what we want to do, because we would like to take travelers to places where people welcome them from a passionate point of view. But it's not just because they are working in the tourism industry. This is one of the main things that I'm actively working on, and I'm still doing new things coming on the way. Also, I host fabulous cooking classes in homes, because when a traveler traveling here in Morocco and passing, whether in new city or in the Medina, all what they can see are closed doors. This is what they are seeing. So they never know what is behind these doors. And just going there, it's an invitation inside somebody's home, and really sitting and talking about them and asking them questions about their daily life. What does it mean to be a woman here in Morocco? Do you make bread every day? Do you cook every day? How much time you're spending in the kitchen? It's all of these questions that really triggers off once the traveler is going inside the Moroccan family home. Why the home is structured this way? This is another question. And then we're always answering and sharing concepts and vision. So this is really my passion, and this is what I'm trying to make travel about once travelers are coming here.
Okay. And in what towns do you operate in Morocco?
Well, I mean, I operate all over Morocco. One of the things that I've done that it's extremely different, and I've done it, I would say, on few occasions only, is when we're speaking about Ait Ben Haddo, which is on the way from Marrakesh to the Sahara Desert, and that's a UNESCO World Heritage. And there are only 9 families who are still living there. That's all. So I took travelers there to cook with one of the families, and they've realized that there is no electricity at their home, so it just lit by candles. That's how they work out the night, and they make this fabulous bread inside the mud oven. That's the shape of the oven, and they see how the process works from A to Z, and they cook with them. And it was a mother and daughter, and the travelers absolutely adore and enjoy. I try really not like to focus on one region, but to focus on different regions in Morocco. Also, there is one region that I'm working actively with, I would say this past 1 year, and it's close to Fez, about 40 minutes drive. And the idea is to take travelers to a farm and really pick what's on the season. So the person who owns the farm, like, take them on a walk and tell them this is right now what's on season. And he went with his like axe, and they're like picking all the vegetables, then they cook the menu depending on what we find available there. So those are like really the places that I'm trying to do.
Okay, fantastic. And one of the things that really impressed me about you and the things you do is that you have decided to do this work as a woman owned tour company in a country and in a business that's typically run by men. And not
Yeah,
only that, but you also volunteer in programs that aim to support female youth as well.
yeah.
So there's those are two things that you get a lot of respect, I think, from the industry doing things like that. And I have to say congratulations for taking on a male dominated industry because it's not easy. And I can only imagine what you're going through in a place like Morocco where that is the case. So tell us some of the problems that you faced and how you overcame them in this man's world, so to speak.
Yeah, well, thank you so much, Eric, for the congratulation. So, in terms of challenges, I've had like some really like challenges, but I'm not gonna say they are like bad challenges. They are challenges that make me like grow and think out of the box. So that's really like how I'm gonna call these challenges. So the first time that I've started working in the Medina, and that was in 2013, and I've led my first like food tour, and this is in the market. I was hearing really like bad words about me, and then some people were saying who she thinks like she is. Like she is just a child and she just starting and she's taking these travelers. She need to bring them inside our shops. Why she's doing that? So really like what I decided to do after like hearing this repetitively, it's to not really think about it and just like stand strong about what I believe food tour is about. Because a lot of people said you're doing food tour, you need to include as an example shopping, like shopping for other like things like carpet, ceramic, all kind of stuff. And I tell them no, like the main point for me is not to include shopping and keep this experience as authentic as possible. It's about food, so I need to concentrate on the food. And this is another challenge because like normally when I go with me, I take one of the licensed guides. That's another thing. I cannot go with them on my own because I'm not a licensed guide myself. And when I'm taking a licensed guide with me, some of the guides were like pressuring about this point. And I told them, I'm not going to do that. It's going to be all about food. That's the main thing. So luckily I stay true to myself until this moment. When I'm leading food tours, it's all about like authentic experiences, and people in the market start really understanding by time what I'm really standing for and what I'm trying to do. So I start to earn the respect, but it wasn't like an easy battle. It was, I would say, maybe 1 year or 2 year or more than that, that I start to feel less words while I'm walking with travelers because I can understand my language, but the travelers who are with me, they don't know what I'm hearing. So I'm trying not to let this affect me at the same time that I'm hosting them during the tour. Another like challenge when I started the companies, people were saying, "Oh, you are a woman, you're gonna lead like a business on your own, you need a man by your side." It's these kind of things that sometimes could put you down, and you might think that the need of having a man is important and necessary, like in terms of collaborating in a business. But then I just decided I'm gonna do and see where it leads to. If it's successful, this is what I want. If it's not, then I'm gonna think about another way of doing it. And plus, it doesn't mean that I'm not working with men. Like I'm working with a lot of men. But the idea is really leading the business with the perspective of a woman. That's the idea. Like my drivers are men who I respect and they respect me highly. And my guides are a mixture of men and women. And the same thing, we have a nice relationship. But the point of view of if we are talking about business side, I really wanted like to apply techniques about thinking from a woman perspective. So this is what I try to do. Also, volunteering was something that it's like I would say I was born with it. It's not because of tourism. That's the main thing that I'm always addressing. And how like I volunteer even before I started in tourism. I was working like with women underage, and this is in Ziyad Center. And I was helping them with like teaching them the language or just like really having fun with them. So like doing activities, and this is through the American Language Center because I was like leading the association and taking like people there. So that's like that's the volunteering how it starts to growing. And right now, how I'm seeing volunteering, I'm seeing it from a different point. So it's the same thing what I said. I'm looking for communities that has nothing to do with tourism. I'm actually doing the same thing. I'm looking for people who has nothing to do with tourism and they need like assistance. And those are the people who I'm looking for and trying to assist, just to answer their question about how are we benefiting from tourism. So this is like one of the goals, really.
That's fantastic. I see, well, certainly what you are doing shows a lot of integrity. And it's not easy to say to the guys that want to take you to the different shops and stuff, take the visitors to the different shops. It's not easy to tell them no because they can be quite aggressive. But I really respect the fact that you've kept true to your core product, which is the food itself, because anyone can go to the souk and get trinkets, right, and little
Yeah.
souvenir things. And certainly, when I was in Marrakesh many years ago, I did that and had a wonderful time. In fact, Marrakesh is the only city in the world that I got lost in. Yeah, I typically have a pretty good sense of direction, but not in Marrakesh.
I mean, here is one of the facts, Eric, that I'm always sharing like with travelers, but I know exactly what you mean. Like, I'm always saying to them, if I am going to Europe or USA or whichever part of the country, like that it's, I would say, like, that I would say advanced in that sense, it's easy not like to lose your way because there is a sense of direction. However, for us as locals, we have a sense of direction from a different point of view, that it's like it's not easy to identify as a traveler coming to a different part of the world.
Yeah.
And what is that we have different markets with different names. So when we need something specific, we know the market that we are going to. Just in Fes, we have as an example one street that it's called the street of butchers. So that's where all the butchers are located. So when people are looking for the meat, they know exactly where to go to, but it doesn't mean that there won't be other butchers. However, what it's not going to be is a street with all of the meat options that that street contains. So this is how our Medinas are actually like, I would say systemized, but it's still easy to lose like your sense of direction. So I
Well,
completely get that.
as long as it makes sense to you, because I was completely lost, but
Yeah.
anyway, and I would like you to tell our listeners a little bit more about the Marrakesh night market because this is truly an amazing experience. It's one of, I think night markets in general are fascinating. I mean, Taiwan is known for its night markets as well. But I remember the Marrakesh night market. I remember I had some meat, some barbecued meat, and I also had some yogurt, little tiny pots of yogurt, and of
Yeah.
course mint tea. You have to have your mint tea.
Yeah.
But could you try to explain what the market is like to people who are just listening to us or watching us today?
Yeah. Oh my God, like it's really hard to really explain the vibrancy of Marrakesh. It's a different part of the world, of course. Once you're going there, the night market is lively and it's a mixture of storytellers. It's a mixture like of people presenting what they are selling there and also just the food stalls in itself. I mean, it's like it's amazing. That's how I'm seeing it. There are juice stands, there is snail shop, there is like barbecue, as you said, there is fish selling there, there is like the head of sheep that it's cooked and it's called baulo. That's another stuff that the locals of Marrakesh absolutely love and adore. There are different streets at night where you can go to and then you see other areas of food. And when I'm talking about food, I'm talking about serious food stalls, not just one or two, starting from meat sandwiches, pastries who are selling avocado milk juice and beautiful pastries like the horn of the gazelle, and this is one of the expensive pastry in Morocco. And what else? I would talk about the tangia, which is the speciality of people in Marrakesh. While people know in the tagine, Marrakesh has the tangia. And tangia is a clay pot like this. The main ingredient is meat along with five spices, and it's cooked into the hot ashes for almost 4 hours. And once you're pouring it, the meat is so like tender, and the sauce needs to be thick. It doesn't need to be liquidy. That's how you know that you're getting a good tangia. And when we're talking about roasted meats, you can see like a sheep a big sheep, I would say, going down under like the ground in order to be roasted, and then they're carrying pieces of the meat for you and giving you cumin, salt, red hot pepper, bread, all sorts of things that you can be do there and discover. And of course, you mentioned it, the mint tea. That's another thing, and I will add another tea, which is the herbal tea. And when I'm talking about herbal tea, I'm not talking about the tea bag. I'm talking about actual herbs going inside the pot of tea, like absinthe, lemon verbena, sage, mint, another type of mint, peppermint, spearmint. All of these are going into the pot of tea. Then you're having this amazing mixture like of tea taste. So when we're talking about Marrakesh, just like get ready, come with a hungry stomach and enjoy the food there. That's what I'm gonna say.
Well, already you've proven to me that you certainly know a lot more about the Marrakesh food scene than I do. I did just a very kind of light tourist experience, and also I was there a long time ago, so I think things have obviously changed and improved.
Yeah.
But you really have shown, I think you know your stuff. I mean, I didn't know there was a different kind of tagine there called tajia, and a different kind of sauce. It has to be the thicker sauce, and it sounds delicious. I need to come and do a tour with you, I think.
Oh, it would be lovely. I do like food tours in Marrakesh, and normally I do one in the morning and one at night. So it would be interesting, like when I have someone who is really foodies and into food, I offer like both. I offer a talk, like a walk in the morning, and then at night just to focus on what the night option has, because there are different things. The morning one is different than the night one.
What would you say is a must experience in Morocco in terms of something to eat and drink? Obviously, the mint tea is kind of the quintessential Moroccan experience. But if someone's thinking about going to Morocco and they could go to South Africa, they could go to India, they could go to well, not Lebanon right now, but
Just now, yeah.
Jordan, for example, right? Turkey, all these different places out there that could be real competition. Why should they come to Morocco? What is going to be so interesting and unique and flavorsome that they should come to Morocco?
Yeah, well, here is like how I'm gonna answer this. So I would say I'm not gonna use one specific dish because it's hard. If I'm using one specific dish, it's like I'm giving a privilege to one over another. So I'm always sharing that Morocco is a diverse country and it's a big country. This is what people don't realize. So starting from the north to the south, I mean, you can spend even 15 days here and not finish the tour and not finish all the options that you can do. And each city has one specific dish that they are famous of. So if we are talking about Marrakesh, I'm gonna use again the tangia dish that I was talking about with the meat and the five spices and cooked into that ashes. And if I'm talking about Fez, I'm gonna use the pastilla, the pigeon pie with like cinnamon and like where it's like onion and almond. And right now we do it like with chicken, not pigeon. And you can have different options. And the speciality it's on people in Fez, not in Marrakesh. Because this is what I'm always trying to explain. If you are going to the Sahara deserts, I'm gonna use the dish of medfuna. And medfuna in Arabic means in English the buried, because it's originally like buried under the sand and cooked for hours. And it's again another pie with meat and onion, and it's like delicious with a lot of spices. And if I'm talking about further north, like speaking about Tangier, Chefchaouen, I might use Moroccan pastries the most because they are famous of making Moroccan pastries that are delicious. And one of the breads that it's called fukous, and it's a little bit white in color. That's another thing that I recommend travelers not to miss, along with the juice made with avocado and a lot of nuts and dates, and it's called zaza. And that's something that we say to travelers, try it there more than any other parts of the country.
Wow.
And here is one of the things that I'm always saying to travelers, please, please do not like miss this one, because normally this is like a food that it's cooked inside homes and not outside. And there are only two restaurants that are right now serving it. One in Marrakesh and it's called Amal Restaurant, and one in Rabat and it's Dar Naji. And the meal that I'm talking about is rafisa. And rafisa, it's made like with treat. So this is like a phyllo dough that it's cooked. And once it's cooked, we shred it into pieces and you add the chicken and the sauce on the top. And this is something that it's not going to be served in any of the restaurants. So always during like my food explanation, I'm telling travelers, if you're thinking Morocco, it's about couscous and tagine, you are wrong. because Morocco, it's not just couscous and tagine. Morocco is far away beyond that. And what we cook inside homes has nothing to do what it's served for you as a traveler. So I really want people to get all of these flavors when they're coming here.
Okay, wow. And some of the things you talked about reminds me of some either French or Spanish influences. So can you tell us about what kind of influences the French or Spanish have had in your cuisine?
Yeah, well, I mean, like, so far, I would say for the Spanish, like the Moorish Spanish has brought the pastilla to Morocco. So that's Moorish. And for the French, I would say the main food, like, it's one of them, it's snails, because they also have snails. And another thing is wine. And normally for wine, I always explain to travelers that our markets, our homes are free from wine because we are Muslims, of course. However, like all wineries in Morocco, or most of them, are either owned by French or Moroccan with French origin. So this is what I'm always explaining about the food influences.
Okay. Tell us about Moroccan wines. I was not aware of that.
Yeah, well, I mean, like in terms of Moroccan wine, I don't have like a lot of expertise in that, but one of the things that I've heard is that normally people are choosing Morocco as a destination because Morocco doesn't apply for them specific laws, like you need to do this mixture plus this mixture to get us the wine, so they can invent new things. They have the freedom to invent new things. So this is like what I know by heart that I can share. But in terms of speaking about wine, I honestly don't have that background.
How do travelers react to Moroccan wine?
They like it and they are surprised because the moment I'm bringing wine to them, they said, "We never know that Morocco has all of these wine options that it contains." And
Yeah.
they are requesting only for Morocco wine. Even though they have other options, that's the wine that they are going to. So
You
I
know,
think
that's
that will answer the question clearly.
no, that's interesting. I think that a lot of travelers don't expect to find wine in Muslim countries. So
Yeah.
obviously Morocco is one. Jordan, when we were in Jordan, they produce wine as well in the northern part of the country. Turkey,
Mhm.
you can have Turkish wine on Turkish Airlines, but then you think, well, when you get there, there won't be any wine. And the
Yeah.
Turkish wines are outstanding. It's just you don't find them. You have to go to the restaurants that serve them. And then
Yeah.
also Azerbaijan, I understand, has some really great wines too. But how is it that Muslim countries can still produce wines?
Yeah, well, I mean, like, because the wineries are owned by French or Moroccan with French origin, so that means that this is like their land, once like they're renting it, and they can do the project that they want to. It's not like Morocco, I would say it's a closed mind country. It's the opposite. It's an open minded country. Like, wine is available in supermarkets, in restaurants, and like we understand that travelers, when they want to come here, they want to like drink wine. It doesn't mean that they will be alcoholic or things like that. But I mean, they love to have a nice meal and then join it with a glass of wine, which is something that like Morocco understand from the tourism point of view. And this
Sure.
is the reason why like it's open. And in terms like of wineries, here is again another discussion that I've had actually with one of the winery owners, because normally like when people want to visit a winery, that's something that I do for them. So they have hosted winery tours, experiences, and they have someone who is meeting them at the winery and taking them and giving them the talk and explaining all of the challenges and all of that. So like this actually French owner said to me that, look, we train Moroccan really hard and we spend time and energy, but then maybe after 2 or 3 months they quit because of guilt. So this is one of the challenges that they face. This is one of the answers that I'm gonna say to you. How are they managing in a Muslim country? But for us, like it's okay, like to have wine, but we're not like going near to it as Muslims. That's the main thing. And I'm not gonna talk about everyone, of course.
Well, I know in one of the countries I mentioned that produces wine and is also Muslim, even though they produce good wines, they don't really promote them and they don't promote the export of them, which is very odd to me because if you're going to go to all the trouble to create a wine industry and the wines are good, wouldn't you want to export them? But they don't want the reputation of being known as a wine exporter, I think.
Oh no, like I'm not sure about the place that you're talking about, but just in here they're saying that we don't have enough wine to export from the first place. It's
Yeah.
not like they don't want to do that. They want to do that. However, they don't have that amount that they can cover in order to export the wine there. But they
Yeah.
said for like olive oil, when it was the season of olive oil and when we've had a lot of olive oil. They actually like exported some virgin olive oil over there, and they are presenting their brand in wineries events like worldwide. However, exporting it, it's not like because it's coming from Morocco, but it's mainly about the sufficiency of it.
Sure. That's
Yeah.
that's typical in a lot of small countries where they don't make enough to export. I look
Yes.
for places like Slovakia or Czech Republic in Europe as well.
Mhm.
Austria does export some wine, but not a lot, right?
Yeah.
And places like Bulgaria or Romania that they keep the good wines at home. So you have to come to those countries to taste them, and then some of the wines that get exported are perhaps not the best. So,
Interesting.
do you also have beers in Morocco?
I think so. I mean, one of the travelers shared to me that he ordered a beer, but then he couldn't find it in supermarkets. But then, like, I'm not sure. That's all what I
Okay.
can say.
So maybe the beer market is not as developed as the wine market there?
As the wine market, maybe, but I'm not 100% sure.
Okay, well, that's interesting. Well, there's a lot to think about there. Well, let's talk a little bit more about the work that you do and especially the youth. Tell us about a program that you work on with the young women.
Program that I work, I have like actually a lot of programs. So the
What's your
program that
favorite
I've worked,
one?
yeah, the program that I'm working with the women currently, like right now, is really training women again who has nothing to do with tourism, and then like offer cooking classes, experiences, or show their artisan, their work of art. That's another thing. If a woman knows how to do broderie, so that's something that I do with one woman. So I'm taking traveler to her home, and then they are working together on a piece of cloth, and they're doing broderie together. If like as an example, I have travelers interested in food, because I'm going to talk about food, it's my main passion, to be honest. Then like I'm taking travelers like to inside home to either maybe make a bread with this family, or like with this woman, or maybe like make a meal together, or like just have different kind of breads, honey tasting and cheese. So it's all of these sorts of experiences. I'm trying right now to disconnect from association and focus on things from a different perspective, because I have a lot of women who are really in need to do a business and they don't know how to, because they are sitting at their homes and they cannot even speak up. Plus, like I am a local, I have the language and I know the community, I'm part of it. So I'm really asking around and I'm like seeing who is the women who want to really work and ready to present something of her own. And then I go and sit and talk to her. And we're having a training before even taking travelers there. And then once I take travelers, I'm just telling her, like, look, don't worry about anything. Just be who you are. That's the main thing. Like if you are who you are, I can work at ease. But if you try to be someone else different that I haven't met with, like when we were talking, this is where I won't know what to do. So like they really like get relaxed and calm. And like travelers are always coming with this passion that we would love to learn and we would love to know and we would love to show what we have as well. So it's become like an intercultural class more than showing. It's showing and like exchanging. It's the main thing.
So, are you teaching them how to make things, like make dishes, or because when you say that they would really like to do a business, but they don't know how to, or they don't know how to get started, or maybe they're shy to do it as well because of the issues you faced. What exactly, when you say you're doing some training with them, what exactly is the training?
Yeah, well, I mean, like the training is about the small things that sometimes people don't think about. Because when we are working with a traveler is not like Moroccan, of course, a Moroccan person. So one of the main points is the need of, as an example, like the need of having like bowls where you can put, when you have, can put the peels when you are peeling like vegetable, is these smaller things, the need of paper towel, the need of papers like on the table, the need of having clean aprons on the side, and like how is the step is going. We're starting from this, then we're doing this, and then we're doing this. And why we're doing this structure, it's because of the time and how the time works perfectly, that the traveler doesn't get bored while sitting or has nothing to do at the same time. Because the main idea is to keep them active, especially when we are sitting in a family home. It's about how to keep them active and doing things rather than just sitting and watching. And also one of the words that I'm always trying like to integrate in like the locals had, because I have a mother my own and she couldn't even like completely understand this. It's not about them showing them, but it's about them doing it. That's the main thing. If you are showing them, they can see this on TV or anywhere. And if it's about doing it, then they're doing it together with you. So they feel that they are contributing. It's all about hands on experience. And no matter how they did it, they're going to do it great at the end. Just be patient. That's what it takes. And that's like from my experience, like over all of these years. So this is the training that I'm talking about, because I cannot just tell her, hey, look, I'm bringing this traveler and then we're doing this class and that's it. And there is no instruction, no direction. So it's all about like just sitting and talking together. And also after that, I'm always like sitting with them to have feedback from them. Have they enjoyed it? Are they willing to do it again? So, I mean, it takes a lot, but once like it's settled, it becomes really great.
So, are any of these young women then turning these activities into a business?
Yeah, well, I mean, mainly like they're working with me for now, but here is one of the thing. Like, once people are seeing me, like one of the women, like because people were seeing me taking travelers to her home, they start coming and talking to her about bringing their own travelers to her home. So it's become something. I'm not gonna say it's always open up opportunities, because I don't know. But I mean, this is something that I know because she told me about it. She said some people said, "Can we bring them for a meal? Can we bring them to do the same activity with you?" So it might open up more opportunities for them.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Well, things always start small. You plant a seed, and then the seed grows, and then other things happen. And probably right now, in a country the size of Morocco, your company is probably enough, I would say. You said you're still building your clientele, although you said this is going to be a really great year for you. So maybe in another year or two, Morocco might be ready for a second tour company. You might be creating your own competition.
Yes, well, I mean, like I don't mind competition, to be honest, because like if I would say, I'm always like saying this between me and myself. It's not about competition, it's about collaboration. If I see another woman doing the same thing and like with a heart, passion driven, and like with this care and all of that, then this is something that I need to be proud of at the same time, because we are all working on the same purpose, which is about showing the beautiful Morocco and letting people also taste the beauty of Morocco. This is like the main point. Plus, the market is huge, is wide. I mean, everyone has his own enough share from travelers. So, like, once you focus on what you're doing, I would feel more proud if I see another woman rather than feeling intimidated in that sense.
That's fantastic. What
Yeah,
kind of help are you getting from the Moroccan Tourism Office in terms of promoting both your tours as a
yeah.
company, but also promoting Moroccan cuisine?
Yeah. Well, here is what I'm gonna share with you. Like, I am a person who never went to the tourism office industry and asked them for assistance. Like, I've never even asked anyone like to assist me in this business. The idea, like, while my families were supportive and like my sweet father said, I'm willing to give you money to start, just start something of your own. I decided that I needed to start this from scratch and taking it like slowly. It's not about just having like a lot of business, but it's about having quality business. So the idea for me, it's not really just like to promote, because this is not something that I want people to come and say buck sticks. It's not about that. Like, it's about people who would like to come and experience the heart and soul of Morocco. So in terms of marketing, we still like have a little bit of classic marketing. Come and then you visit Casablanca, Rabat, Fez, and Marrakesh. While it's not about this, it's come and you will visit Fez and what it's beyond Fez and what it's surrounding Fez. This is like the main point. And I don't want just to market. I want to market with a purpose. So this is what I'm trying to focus on.
So, the people coming to Morocco and booking a tour with you, how many of them would you say know something about Moroccan cuisine before arriving? And I mean something beyond tagine, right? That they've done some research and they're somewhat familiar with Moroccan foods.
I would say none, including chefs that I've hosted like in the past. Yeah, because it's not just like I started my 3 years of business that I'm talking about right now. I've been already part of a company for 7 years and I've hosted international chefs. So when I was hosting them, it's more about they were saying, we never know that Morocco has all of these flavors. Like if we're talking about couscous in itself as couscous, while as an example, some people just boil it in the water and they say this is couscous. Our couscous is steamed 3 times. And our couscous is handmade before it's even becoming couscous as couscous grain. And there is a process how to make couscous from scratch. And sometimes I took like people to this woman and learned how to make couscous from scratch until it become a couscous. Then cook it and have a meal with them. So all of these like secrets people don't know about. And here is another thing fascinating about Morocco. Each place and each family has its own way of doing things. Yeah. So like my way of making couscous, it's not the same way of another family. Another family, like small secrets could be just adding ginger powder on the couscous itself before like putting the sauce and the chicken or the meat on the top and serve it. So each one has its own secrets or own like labor of love that they learned from their grandmothers and they're adding to their meal and they're not even talking about. So this is why I said none, because it's hard to find this in the like in the guidebooks or any of the books. This is something that you know by heart once you are here and once you are touring from the eyes of the locals. This is when you know a lot.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And also, to kind of related to, well, talking more about the actual people that you're getting on your tours, are you finding people are coming looking for a more luxury or gourmet experience, or are they looking for a more authentic and down to earth experience?
I would say both. That's my answer. But I mean, once they are like looking into luxury, they're looking into luxury and not like super, super lux. Because I have this and I have this. I have people who want the super lux and who can afford paying $1,000 per night at Royal Mansour or something like that. And I have people who said, look, we want like luxury, but we would like to invest in experiences at the same time. And like this is the kind of travelers that I have a lot. They're getting a beautiful luxury tour and they're having a lot of experiences. So they feel that they are integrating both, like at a, I would say at a reasonable rate, but not spending too much on a room and leaving experiences on the side. It's really
Yeah.
combining both.
Yeah. I think that's important. I mean, our research has shown that the number of people who prefer a gourmet experience first over anything else is actually small. It's a minority. And I have to laugh when I continue to see destinations going after the Michelin guide and saying, "Oh, we want one," and then they are given the price tag. And then
Yeah.
did you hear recently about the state of Virginia in the United States that sought the Michelin guide to come there? And then the Michelin guide said, okay, and here's your partnership fee. And it was something like 360,000 US dollars. And
Yeah.
Virginia was so shocked that they actually published this whole story and made it public on the internet. And I think that the moral of the story here is that times have changed and businesses and destinations don't have this kind of money anymore to throw blindly just to chase after a brand name. I mean, you have countries like well, so many countries. I mean, we can name any countries that have high end premium experiences that don't necessarily have to have a Michelin star attached to them. They're still
Yeah.
authentic. They're still high quality. They're still authentic on many levels as well. And I think that's what the real essence of a country is. It's not to have necessarily a French label put on something and say this is Michelin. It's great. Although I think they do a lot of great work for gourmet restaurants around the world. If you really are in the gourmet space, then
Yeah.
that's fine. That's great for you. But we don't need a Michelin guide from Morocco, do we?
Well, I actually like how you put it, Eric. So I was thinking differently until you open up my eyes on a new perspective, to be completely honest with you. I had actually like one of my colleagues who is also working in tourism, and she's not based here in Morocco. And she raised this question why Africa doesn't have a Michelin star. So that's actually raised the question for me is not just Africa, North Africa, is North and South, the whole of Africa. And I said in my head, this is how I was thinking. So I'm sharing with you like transparently, like what the thought that I've had. I was like thinking about, wow, like maybe Africa needs a Michelin star. And this will raise the awareness that we have gourmet tours and that like we do stand up for a lot of like dishes that have a beautiful signature. But right now, hearing it from your perspective, maybe we don't need one. We just need to focus on presenting like the food quality that we have. And it's not about the price tag, but it's because like some travelers are really looking into that name before they decide on the country itself. So it's not really about the price tag, it's about how people are sometimes blinded by branding.
Yeah.
Like while I have travelers saying, "Oh, we would love to stay in this hotel," and I'm not going to share the name because I need to remain professional, then like I'm telling them, "Look, yes, you can go there, but I mean, this is all about I would love to be seen. Is this what you really want? Or would you like something that it's luxury and hidden gem? Because I can offer you this." So then like they start thinking, oh, we rely on your expertise. Let us know what you do recommend. So I send them options, then luckily they pick from these options. And once they come here and they visit those branding names that they were talking to me about, they said, we are relieved that we are not staying there. We like what you have offered for us.
Yeah.
It's much more interesting.
Blinded by branding. I like that. I might have to borrow that.
Yeah, please
I
do.
like the way that you do things though. You still have the high end experiences if people want that, but you also offer the more everyday authentic experiences. It is people like a little bit of both, and then sometimes they like to have maybe one really nice gourmet experience, but then the rest of the trip is more authentic and local, going into someone's home, right, and learning how to bake bread with them right there, or
Yeah,
going out into the countryside or the desert and cooking the dish right there in the soil. Those are also very special experiences. And
yeah.
I don't know that you necessarily need a Michelin star. I mean, I think Michelin is doing a great job with the countries that it's got. I don't think Morocco needs Michelin stars.
Okay. I trust your expertise.
Well, it's my opinion. That's all there is to it.
I really like the way how you put it because this is something that I was thinking about. And this is around like 2 or 3 weeks ago that I start thinking, shall I do something? Shall I, as an example, reach out to them? Shall I tell them this is what Morocco contains? Then, like, once you put it this way, and right now I'm saying, oh no, I need to be careful. That's the main point.
Yeah. Well, yeah. This conversation has made me realize I definitely need to come to Morocco and visit you and go on. I need to not just go on a tour. I need to spend a week with you, I think, and really get into the different corners
Different
of
places.
Morocco.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and really experience. And we talked before about the Atlas Mountains, where the
Yeah.
people have blonde hair and blue eyes, which
Yeah.
is just wow.
Yeah.
I'd love to see this and see them and hike in the mountains and just get out of the cities, right? And explore the countryside and get to see and meet the people in their local areas.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, this is what travel is about. At the moment, it's lovely to be inside the city. It's lovely to see the souk, the market, all of that. But always like make sure, if time permits, to have one day that it's free, where you can actually like do something that it's outside of the city, so you can see the beautiful surroundings. And like when I'm saying beautiful, they are really beautiful surroundings, like it's stunning. Just the idea of going there and being like on your own, not seeing so many travelers, that's always like makes people feel that they are special somehow, because they feel that they can take some time, pace themselves, and really enjoy being with the locals and
Mhm.
being there as a traveler and not as a tourist. This is what I'm gonna use the word traveler. They
Yeah.
feel that this word really applies on them once they are there.
Well, Siham, I'd like to thank you very much for your time today. I hope to meet
Thank
you
you.
in person in Morocco one day.
Same
And
here.
until then, keep doing what you're doing. You're doing a great job, and we wish you all success.
Oh, thank you so much, Eric. Thank you.
That's it for this episode of the Taste of Place podcast. This episode is brought to you by the World Food Travel Association and its Culinary Capital's Destination Certification Program. We'd like to hear from you. We invite you to share your ideas, questions, and thoughts about the podcast by contacting us through our website, or you can connect with us and comment about the episode on major social media platforms. Special thanks to our guest, Siham Lahmine, and our sincerest thanks to you for joining us. I'm Eric Wolf, wishing you a safe, happy, and productive month ahead.